Good afternoon. Welcome back to Near Post Flick On. Hope you're doing great on this summer's afternoon. Right, so much has been made about Arsenal's need for a striker, and I think they need to take advantage of the summer window early. They don't want to leave the business too late because, whilst the iron is hot, you've got to really, really strike. They've got to strike and they've got to make those decisions now. I think the longer they delay it, the more that window of opportunity will close eventually, and they'll have a situation whereby they go into a new season without having addressed the need for a number nine. Now, if you look in the past, Arsenal have had some great strikers, and when they've had those strikers, when you look at your Henri's, your Ian Wrights, and even Lacazette and Aubameyang, when they've had strikers, good strikers, they've been able to compete at the highest level, and you kind of feel that that's what Arsenal's missing. I think that's what Arsenal's missing, and I think if they can address that and do good business early, it will definitely aid the squad and the team as a whole. So, who have they singled out? Well, they're looking at Victor Gyokeres and um, Benjamin Sesko. So those are who they're looking at the moment, and hopefully they can do a deal pretty soon with either one of those players. Now, I think a lot of people have said, it's youth versus experience, and what fits that Arsenal mold. What are they looking for? Are they looking for an established striker that's complete, or are they looking for someone that they can invest in for not the immediate future, but later on down the line? Now, if you look at them, well, Benjamin Sisko, he's currently at RB Leipzig, and he's basically scored 13 goals in the Bundesliga the season just gone. So when you look at those stats, you're not infused and you're not filled with great confidence because you'd feel that a team like Arsenal should be getting a player that's averaging at least 20 goals a season. However, the Bundesliga is a very, very difficult league to kind of ply your trade. And also, he's only 22 years old, so he's got plenty of time to develop. So the question for Arsenal is, do we want to invest in someone that we're going to kind of nurture and guide through and hopefully reap the rewards at a later stage, or do we want someone that's the finished article? Now, when you look at Gyokeres, he's 27 years old. He's currently at Sporting Lisbon, and he's bagged 39 goals this season. So on paper, you would automatically say, right, he scores 39 goals. That's the man we want. He seems established. However, no disrespect, but the Portuguese league isn't on the same level or standard as the Bundesliga. You'd think that the Bundesliga is a lot stronger than the Portuguese league. However, I don't think that makes any difference. If you look at some of the caliber of players that have kind of been poached from the Portuguese league and brought into the Premier League, they've definitely progressed and they've done bits in the Premier League. So when you look at players like Ronaldo, who have been able to transcend the Premier League, if you like, and they've done great, having come in from a lower or a lesser league. So I don't think that makes any difference. But what does make a difference is those 39 goals that he bagged for his club, Sporting Lisbon. So yeah, the question remains: who will Arsenal go for, and who's their best fit? Will it be the youth, or will it be the experience? In my opinion, if I was Arsenal, if I had the money, and bearing in mind, I think RB Leipzig, they are looking for between 68.4 million to 85 million for Sesko, and I think Gyokeres, apparently Lisbon or Sporting Lisbon are holding out for 84 million. So there's been some type of, I don't know, delays in both clubs or in all clubs coming to some type of agreement. But at this stage, I'd probably say Cisco probably looks the best option at the moment in terms of trying to finalize a deal and get it over the line. As I say, it's better for Arsenal going forward if they can get this deal done early. But for me, on a personal level, I think for Arsenal, if I was Arsenal and I had an open checkbook, I would be looking closer to an established Premier League player, and that player is Alexander Isak. If I were Arsenal, I would go for Isak. If Arsenal can get Isak, Arsenal have every chance of turning their season around. They have every chance of competing neck and neck with Liverpool, neck and neck with Manchester City. If they can open up the checkbook and go for this particular player, I think that would make such a huge difference. I think you want a striker that will guarantee you 20 goals in the Premier League, And I think Isak, he's proven in the Premier League and he ticks all the boxes. And I think most importantly, he probably fits that Arsenal mould and he probably fits Arteta's style of playing football. Now, that isn't to say Gyokeres or even Sesko can't come in and hit the ground running and, kind of set the Premier League alight, But I think for a young player like Cisco, I think he's going to take some time to adapt to the Premier League and to the pace of the Premier League. And Gyokeres, 39 goals in the Portuguese league shows that he is a finisher and he can score goals. But as I say, it's just a level. It's just a level in quality. But you just never know. But for me, I would say to Arsenal, put all your eggs put all your money on Isak. If they can get Isak, I think Arsenal stand a great chance of winning some trophies going forward and competing at the highest level and giving Manchester City and Liverpool a run for their money. And remember, those two teams, Manchester City and Liverpool, they have already made great investments this season already. So I don't know what's taking Arsenal so long to pull out their checkbook and start making some important buys. But it's a good thing that they're having these conversations. It's a good thing that they're looking to address their striker issues because I think if you're going to compete, you need to have a full squad. You need to make sure you've got strength in depth. And yes, they've got Jesus and they've got Havertz, but you need strength in depth. And their rivals are competing in the market. They're buying the best players. So it's interesting. We'll wait and see. It's still a long summer. We'll wait and see what happens. But for now, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.